Hey everyone, it is IKMagX with another Dragalia last video, and today I'll be going over. I'm going to be going over. I'm going to be going over a Dragon tiers that I decided to make. So without further ado, let's move on to that. Now, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't see many people doing these. So are these people on YouTube, Dragalia lots of YouTubers. So without further ado, let's get on. In D tier, I have all the 3-star dragons as well as Brunhilde, Mercury, Midgard, Stormir, and Jupiter. Because they're not really great. They don't do much damage, and the skills are bland. Their abilities are also kind of they're the first story dragons, so they're nothing special. Moving on to D plus tier, we have Erasmus, the first. We have an event where we have Erasmus and Fire, because Erasmus also doesn't do anything special, but it's still better than Brunhilde. Then we have Pangnai, better than Mercury, because he's also an HP dragon like Mercury, but has higher HP and also inflicts fog. Then for Wind we have Mini Mids, Yulong, or actually no, Mini Mids goes up here. Yulong, Sylvia, we have Yulong and Sylvia, and it's because they're actually they're actually pretty decent. They do some decent damage, nothing too special. Just nothing too special. They're okay. Yeah, they're not doing too much damage. Still better than Big Stormir. And now we have Shishimai and Unicorn. Unicorn is a healing dragon, nothing too special. Shishimai does crit damage, but also has some pretty decent abilities. It has a weird ability. His skill is also kind of weird, where it's like it's a buffing skill and it's randomized what he gets, but still kind of okay. Then we move on to Shadow. We have Phantom, Zodiac, the 3 Factors, and Maritimus. Maritimus is a healing dragon, doesn't do anything special. It frees the enemy, which is okay, but nothing too special. The dragons don't do anything special. The Fafnirs they can be used on any Avenger, and their abilities will apply no matter what, but they're for dailies, essentially, you could say. Bronze increases player experience, increases Adventurer's experience. The Silver Fafnir increases the amount of mana you receive, and Gold Fafnir increases the amount of rupees you get. And Bronze has a strength buffer skill, Silver has a defense buff skill, and Gold has a healing skill. Nothing special, that's about it. Zodiac and Phantom. Now, normally, the only reason why I put Zodiac in here with Phantom is because, first of all, Zodiac, unlike the other story dragons, Zodiac actually has a secondary effector's ability, and his secondary effect is why I'd say he's unequal with Phantom. While Phantom does do more damage, the thing is Phantom's ability does inflicts blindness, while Zodiac inflicts poison. So that's the only reason why they're tied. If they had poison, Phantom would be up here, and Phantom would be up. Zodiac would still be here, but Phantom would be in C, in my honest opinion. That's about it. Now moving on to Fire. We have Payday and Ifrit, and they're both the same. Both do damaging skills that inflict burn. Nothing special. They're okay dragons. And that's the only reason. And that's the only reason why I put them together. There's better versions of them. Moving on, that's about it for them. They both are strength dragons too, and Pele's an event welfare. So there's that. But moving on, we have Palyahu and Poseidon. Palyahu inflicts freeze, is an HP healing dragon, but nothing special. And then is an HP increasing dragon, and does it damaging with then inflicts freeze, like I said. And Poseidon has ability as HP and strength, and does okay damage. Doesn't inflict any ability. It doesn't inflict any status ailments. So that's about it. Then moving on. We have these three. Rock Rock is good because he has Strawberry is a healing dragon, Rock is a strength dragon, and Mini Mids is a strength and HP dragon. So Mini Mids, it does really good damage, but doesn't have any secondary effect. So he's okay. Then we have Stryborg. Stryborg is HP healing dragon, but doesn't do any secondary effects either. But still is better than is still better than Sylvia. And Rock has his secondary effect is he stuns the opponent, so he's okay. But there are better versions of him. So that yeah, that's essentially it. They're okay dragons, nothing too special. Moving on to siege. Moving on to light dragons. There we have Liger, Liger, Nedworm, and Halloween Silk. The only reason, now technically Halloween Silk does have weaker stats than Liger, but the only reason why I put them together because Halloween Silky has like is actually good for defense because her skill reduces the enemy strength by 15%, and her attack rate is actually pretty good. That's the only reason why I also put Pity in it. Like Pity's attack rates is actually pretty good too. Worm is also okay. The Liger is an HP and strength dragon, and Worm is an attack dragon. While Halloween Silky is also an HP and strength dragon. Liger inflicts paralysis, mind you, though, but he's okay. I would put him higher, but there's another reason why. Worm does okay damage, but nothing special. There's better versions of him. He doesn't have any secondary effects, so yeah, that's about it. For like, there's nothing special. I'm going through these ones really quickly because there's nothing much to talk about with these ones until we get up to like much higher ones. Now moving on to C. Now moving on to Shadow C, we have Minis. Actually, wait, no. Minis are actually go up here, and I'll explain why. We have Para Zodiac, Juggernaut, and Silky. Silky is, unlike Halloween Silk, instead of strength, she reduces enemy defense by 50%. 15% for 10 seconds. Juggernaut does good damage but no secondary effect. And Power Zodiac also does good damage but no secondary effect. But the difference is that Juggernaut is full strength. Silky is HP and strength. Power Zodiac is strength plus 20%, but also does crit damage plus 40%, which is actually pretty cool. Pretty good. It's also pretty cool, and certain users can use it. So there's about it. But then again, that's the only one that could be used for. That's the only crit damage tracker we have for Shadow right now. So that's about it. C plus. Now moving on to C plus. We have for fire. We have Brunhilde. We have Brunhilde. We have. We have we have oh my god, Rathalos, and we have hang on, I need to. Yeah, Prometheus. Prometheus does decent damage and is strength plus 50% and wind res 15%. Brunhilde is part of the High Dragons, which they are, which and with her and with her, which actually no, I'm gonna put. Actually, no, that's about right. So that's about right. Anyway, so string. His is like a string. His is essentially string. His is Pity. Pity is so. High Brunhilde does pretty okay damage. It does good damage. It inflicts burn. So does Rathalos. They both do about the same. But Rathalos does really good damage. Though I still think they're about the same because of I still think they're about the same because of the fact that their stat differences are kind of because High Brunhilde has Dragon Time and also the stat difference thing. Which actually, you know what? Now I'm gonna put this one right here. And move this one here. So yeah. So that's about it. But nothing too special about it. Then we have Those two are about the same. It's nothing too special. They're both okay, but yeah, he's one of the better event welfare dragons. Now let's move on to now moving on to fire or water. We have Vodianoi, High Mercury, and Simurg. Vodianoi does okay damage. Doesn't do anything too amazing. Um, he used to be really good for Ray Dragons, but he's just there. Then there's High Mercury. High Mercury is a better version of Poseidon. Inflicts fog, does good damage. Dragon time. It's essentially easy. Simurg is interesting. Um, heals all users with this skill, and it's a damage skill. And he has strength, and he has HP plus 40%, and does also does overdrive punisher plus 60%. But he's okay. He's nothing special. There's a better one, a better healing dragon. I'll get to him. Get to that dragon. Then we have, uh, of course, we have Garuda. Garuda doesn't do. Moving on to when we have Garuda. Garuda is basically almost similar to Smirk, but a full HP plus 60%, no secondary ability, and only heals the user instead of the whole party, but still does damage. Then we have High Midgardsormr, who inflicts stun on his and has basically the same effects as all the other high dragons. HP and strength plus 30% and dragon time plus 20%. So that's about it for that one. Then moving on to light, we have what's his name? We have Gilgamesh and High Jupiter. High Jupiter inflicts paralysis and does decent damage. High then Gilgamesh is essentially the light version of Prometheus. Has shadow resistance and strength plus 50%. Does decent damage, no secondary effect, but that's about it. Now moving on to Shadow, we have Ebisu, who is a HP hero dragon, has the highest HP increasing stat out of all the other HP dragons in Shadow, out of all the other dragons in Shadow, but only heals the user. So that's the one downside. Zodiac HP plus 30, strength plus 30, but has a stronger skill than. The only reason why I put him up here is because his skill does much more damage than High Mid. High Mid does like about a little over 1500. High Zod does. I mean, Mini Zod. Mini Zodi has a Mini Mid does only like about 1500% damage with his skill, and Mini Zod does skill is 1800%. So that tells you how well. Then there's High Zodiac, who does really good damage and also poisons the enemy. Or wait, no, I don't think he does poison. Let me make sure. About that. No, he doesn't poison. My bad. He reduces their defense, and that's about it for that. And Needhog. The only reason why I put these two together instead of a party is because Needhog actually is better for gives more HP increasing stat than him for healers, and his thing inflicts blindness, which is but it's still pretty good. They're about the same. So that's the only reason why I put them up here instead of down below. But that's going to be it for C+. Now let's move on to the other characters. First up, let's go with B. B, we have now going to be going into more details. So first up, we have Kakatsuchi and Agni. Agni does good damage and a strength plus 60%. Kakatsuchi does less damage than Agni's skill and has a prime strength, which prime strength is essentially whenever their initial skill display that increases the strength of the adventurer you are currently controlled by 50% for 10 seconds. Every time their initial skill displayed at the top of the skill list becomes available to use, provided they are flame between. After activating the ability will not activate for 15 seconds. It's not that good. It's not amazing. His skill does burn damage though, unlike Agni's, which doesn't. But yeah, they're about the same. it does less damage too. So I would say they're about the same. Moving on to water, we have just Kamui. Kamui inflicts freeze, and it also does prime strength. Nothing too special either, so that's about it. Moving on, well, actually, yeah. Moving on, actually, no. Kamui deserves to be in B plus. My bad. I kept moving him around, but I'm gonna say he's in B plus. Um, now, Zephyr, I put him above. Zephyr is a strength plus 60% damage, but also inflicts stun and does pretty good damage. He's a good dragon, but nothing special. So yeah, water, there's no dragon in B, in my opinion. Light, we have. Now for light, we have John the Ark, who John the Ark has a damaging skill. It's an HP 60 dragon. It does a damaging skill, but increases the entire team's defense by 30%. It's a pretty okay dragon. And that's basically it. She's nothing too special. She's just another regular dragon, but nothing too much. Now there's Barbados, the last of the event welfare. And he's okay. He only does 660% damage. The only reason why I put him higher is because he's actually got a pretty good. Because for mind you, he only works well with. He only kind of works well with dragons. You know what? No, my bad. I'm gonna put Barbados down here. Barbados doesn't. He only works well with low HP characters, which are okay, which are okay at best. But the only reason why they're not that great, but the only reason why he's only good with HP below 30% with because if he does happen, then the characters the characters that have where when the HP is below 60%, it makes themselves. He's only better when with characters that have low HP like Belina and Curran and Veronica and Aldred, just to get because then he gets a 60% strength of those characters, but nothing too special. I'm not going to go into too much detail. So yeah, so he goes down to C plus. Instead, I'm going to have to put B Nyarlathotep. Nyarlathotep is he does an okay skill. HP below 30. When HP is 30% or above, he does strength plus 50%, and Moon and How, which grants the use of the Buddy Tongue effect for 20 seconds when they're into the shadow, where when HP drops to 30%, and it only activates when HP drops to 30%. And this effect grants the user 1 year shield that no effects damage less than 60% of their maximum HP and increases their strength by 30%. These effects do not stack. And are lost upon taking damage. That's the one issue. So 80%, but as soon as they take damage, that's it. It's not great. It's not amazing, so that's why I put him below. So moving on to B plus, we have Cerberus, which I gave him above. I put her above Agni because she's just better. She's strength by 60%, but she's just better because not only does she inflict burn, but she also reduces the enemy's strength. She has a 30% chance to reduce the enemy's strength, but also 100% chance to reduce their defense by 5% for 10 seconds. Both are 5%. She's a good dragon. She has a pretty good attack rate. She's just a better version of Agni. And that's basically it for her. Now, going on to water, I already went over Kamui. Three's strength is actually pretty good. It's nothing special, but yeah, it's better than Kakatsuchi in my honest opinion. Oh, actually, no. Kakatsuchi is actually above Agni in my opinion. Never mind. Well, no. Okay, the reason why I put Kakatsuchi here is because Cerberus is better than Kakatsuchi. Probably, otherwise, Kakatsuchi would be up there. Haster inflicts sleep. Is a good dragon, as an inflicts sleep, and is also a prime strength dragon. That's the only reason why I put him above, and why I put him above Zephyr. Though they could be considered the same. Yeah, actually, no. They're both going in the same, in my honest opinion. They're actually, no, yeah. I'm going to switch them around. Hastra deserves to be in B, and Zephyr's in B plus because Zephyr's better, in my honest opinion. I'm sorry, I keep flip-flopping them, but I had to think about this. And going in for a shadow, we have Chthonius. I put him down, but yeah, Chthonius is a good dragon. Inflicts poison. The only reason why I have him here is below is because his strength flash 55%, but the thing is that and once you shapeshift once it gets increased to 65%, which actually you know what no, I'm actually instead gonna put Andromeda. Andromeda is a good or no, I'm not gonna have actually a dragon in here. Then I'm not gonna have a dragon in there actually for Shadow and Knights. Yeah, Light and Shadow don't need one. It'd be plus it's just these. Oh wait, what am I doing? I mixed these around. I forgot Night Dragon. I forgot one Night Dragon. Okay, Takumi Kazuchi, I totally forgot about. So yeah, B plus is just going to be Cerberus, Cerberus Zephyr, and Takumi Mikazuchi. Now, Takumi Kazuchi has Thunderous Charge, which inflicts stun for 5 to 6 seconds, which is good, and Strength plus 40%, and Overdrive Punisher plus 25%. I wish this was higher, but he's still a good, decent dragon, but nothing too special, in my opinion. He's nothing that puts him above, it puts him in the A, but still a kind of decent dragon. But yeah, these two dragons are good, but there's certain better ones. Now let's move on to A. This is where we're gonna get interesting. So first up for A, we have Phoenix. There's a reason why I put Phoenix in here. Phoenix is the best healing is the only healing dragon for fire, but she's like one of the best healing dragons in the game. Her HP was 45%, but her skill is insane. Where it restores HP to our allies and applies regen for 15 seconds, healing with 41% regen potency every 2.9 seconds. There's only one other person who has a better. There's only one other dragon that has a better healing factor than it, Phoenix, and we'll get to her. But that's it. But yeah, it's Phoenix. You should try to get if you don't have her already, get her because for fire, just because she's a good healing dragon. Now let's move on to the other one, Arctos. Arctos is good. He's a strength dragon, strength plus 45%, and adds 55% to the modifier part to critical damage. And his skill inflicts stun and does about 1,000 damage. There's a reason why I don't, but there's a reason why I only put him. But there's one issue why I don't put him up with some of the other dragons. It's because only one character really used him in fire that was people were using, and that was Ezolith with a 70 MC. But that's about it. So that's the only reason why I have it here. Now moving on to water. We have Nemes. Now Nemes is also a strength and crit damage dragon, but in my opinion, probably one of the worst ones. Her skill is actually her skill is really good. One of the worst ones, because he doesn't have an attacking skill. Nemes restores HP to the user, and raises the dragon gauge by 20%, and extends shapeshift time by 5 seconds, which is okay. But I wish it was an attacking skill. But yeah, you want something to do some. Now, let us move on to the other two. First up, we have. Here, wait, actually. Sorry, I had to move some stuff around. Next up we have in wind, we have Long Dong. Long Dong does okay damage. In fact, a lot of people like using his skill because it's basically he does a Kamehameha. Once again, another strength and crit damage. The only reason why I have him in here is the other is just like the other. Now first of all, Nemes is still being used, but just like Arctos, Long Gong isn't really seeing much use. There was only one character who used to use it, and there was only one character that really used it, and not really anymore. But like, it's still a good dragon. Still goes to damage. It's still good for substitute. Same thing with Arctos. Nemi still sees some use, but not by much, and only by like one person, I believe. With actually just to show you, going to the DPS simulator, fire. Well, let's go to water. In water, there's only one person still using enemies, and that is Tiki. And or well, at least the characters that are being used, or some also a lot of other low characters use it, like or some Luther and Pietro. And then when no one really uses Long Gong except for no one uses Long Gong. No one actually uses Long Gong at all. So there's that. So that's, I mean, it's a good substitute though, but that's about it. The only reason why I don't put Nemes higher, I mean, yes, I know that Nemes, people use Nemes, but the only reason why I don't put them higher is because, like I said, only one person in meta uses it, which is Tiki. And and the only reason why, and Tiki won't even use this dragon, especially because of like her. It's only using it for ability because Tiki has the Divine Dragon transformation. But yeah, moving on to light, we have Popstar Siren. Now, Popstar Siren is actually pretty useful. It's useful for certain heroes, for certain runs with certain characters. But the main reason why Popstar Siren is also used is because of her ability is actually kind of useful, where it increases, where you could use it twice during Shapeshift. It's one of the only two that you can use twice. I'll get to the other one, and we'll get to that one. And it increases the entire team's strength and defense by 20% for 20 seconds. You could get 2 off and get 40%. And increases their energy level by 3 stages, which, by using it twice, energizes them, which is good. Strength plus 40%. Acceleration, where it increases the shapeshift time by 3 seconds, up to a maximum of 5 seconds through this ability. So if you have 2 people with that on your team, then you get 5 extra seconds. Now, moving on, but other than that, only one person uses Popstar. On Element for Light, only one person uses Popstar Siren, Chitose, and it makes it one of the strongest Light units in the game right now. But other than that, there's not many. But then again, Chitose is a buffer. But other than that, the only other characters would use it is some heroes and certain off-meta things. Like I know for the one boss that for the Fire Agni, the Flame Agito boss, there's a really quick one that utilizes an adventure with Popstar Siren, using Popstar Siren. So yeah, there's that. But that's essentially it for that one. Now moving on to Shadow, we have 3 of them. We have Andromeda, Chthonius, and wait here, where's the Andromeda, Chthonius, and Marashitan. Marashitan is a HP strength 60% dragon. The only reason why I put him above other strength 60% dragons is because, well, her skill was better. Her skill is inflicts bleeding, which bleeding is really good, and it does a lot of damage. So yes, she does really good damage. Chthonius inflicts poison with his skill, but the main reason why, or Chthonius, but the main reason why I also put Marashita and him as equal is because of his ability. He starts off with 55%, but every time you shapeshift, you get 10% a 10% strength increase for the remainder of the quest. Only twice, mind you, but at total that gives you a 75% strength increase. That's really good. And Andromeda is really best suited for it. Initially, she only gives a strength plus 40% increase, but for units like Aldred, Belina, and Curran and Veronica, like characters that utilize low HP on Shadow, she she has a thing where it increases the strength by 40% and defense by 100% when HP is 30% or below. And her skill does damage, but also increases the entire team's defense by 30%. So yeah, it's a pretty good skill. Mind you, there are substitutes essentially, but yeah, you win. But they're good substitutes. Now let's move on to A plus. A plus, we have Apollo. Apollo, there's a reason why I put Apollo in there. Apollo is, not only does the skill inflict burn, but it also reduces the enemy's defense by 5%. It inflicts burn for 30 seconds. It reduces defense it reduces enemy defense by 5% for 10 seconds. Strength plus 50% and burning punishment plus 20%. He is really good. But he's only an A plus, but because some of the other dragons are just better than him. And that's the only dragon I have. But Apollo is still a very good dragon. Highly recommend try to get him max unbound just to use as like, because certain adventure, because there is one dragon, he is a substitute, but I'll get to explaining why you could still use him at the main party. Now moving on to, because before I started, because there's one dragon that definitely replaced him, but before then there were adventures that actually utilized Apollo, and that are still top tier. Like Xania uses Xania's second best dragon is Apollo. We'll get to our best dragon, but it's the best dragon for other characters. And so moving on, we have just we have water. Water has two dragons I have here. We have Leviathan, which is, in terms of shapeshift in dragon form, he's one of the strongest. He's one of the strongest dragons when in his dragon form from water. Like, he's actually the strongest for water if you exclude divine dragon form Tiki, and as well as Urias's dragon drive form. So Leviathan, yeah, Titus inflicts bog, does really good damage, and he has a great attack rate. In fact, Leviathan is still used for Fjord's used for Hybrid Hilda, and could still be used for in retrospect. And certain other adventures do use Leviathan still, but no one really too relevant per se, or at least that is. Well, except Pippo does. But that's about it. Now, moving on, we have, but yeah, that's the only reason why. But he's still a great dragon. Still, I would still recommend getting him max unbound. Now, moving on to light, we have Cupid. Cupid is a straight dragon and is a really good dragon. Mind you, he's not the best light dragon to use right now for DPS, but there's a reason why I still like him, because let's just say this. If you're going up, he's great for heroes runs, for heroes runs of like certain quests, because of for heroes runs, especially because her skill is a healing skill to her allies, but it also increases the entire team's critical rate by 25% for 15 seconds. It is a really good skill. And that's why I put him there. And that's why I put Cupid there. And yes, I said him. Cupid is a boy. Yeah. Yeah, see, he. Now, moving on. Oh, wait, I totally skipped over wind. I mix match these kind of out of order. So, Pazuzu. Pazuzu, wind, is essentially the same as is also a status affected dragon. Inflicts poison, and it reduces the enemy defense by 5%. Strength plus 50%, poison punisher. Basically same aspects as Apollo. So yeah, it's a really good dragon. Now going on to light, I totally forgot now going on to the other dragon of night, sorry, because I messed up with Pazuzu. Coursing Phoenix. Strength, paralyzed punisher, inflicts paralysis, and removes curse and poison from all allies. It is essentially just like the other really good dragon, just like the other status punishing dragons. And so yeah, and then of course there's the other one, Erathimus. My bad. Why did I say Erathimus? Epimetheus. Epimetheus is also a Punisher dragon. Has a really good skill that poisons the. It has a really good skill that poisons the enemy. It doesn't have a secondary effect, but still, they're all really good dragons. And certain adventurers do use, and certain adventurers still use them as some of their top DPSs. Like Apollo will be the exception. Water doesn't have one, unfortunately. Pazuzu also, well, okay, Pazuzu, not many people also use right now, but it's a good substitute. The and so yeah, that's the one thing with Pazuzu. And then of course there's Light Corsair Phoenix. Only one person uses it, Pazuzu, which okay, next week of it. Weaker right now, but truth be told, he's much stronger than all of these if you discount Team DPS and also count his special, where he does that. So yeah, that's the whole thing. Yeah, that's the only reason. That's the only character though that uses him. But it only uses Corsair Phoenix. Which I never actually checked if Corsair Phoenix is a boy, just to make sure. Because there's, yeah, no, she's a girl. I thought so. Corsair Phoenix is a girl, and Epimetheus. Yeah, they're all kind of categories to punishing dragons. They're both all the punishing dragons are really good. And oh wait, I never really went over why I totally skipped out on what's it called? Dragon Yojan. Totally forgot about seasonal. Dragon Yojan. I'm sorry, kind of getting out of order but Dragon Yojan, the other reason why I put her there is because characters still use Dragon Yojan a lot more so than just a little bit more so than Leviathan. But Dragon Your Blessing with the user is a 2-to-1 increase in strength by 45% and critical rate by 20%. The only dragon that have critical rate increase on their ability. And she inflicts freeze, which is very good for the current Agito, the Fire Agito. And also for Volk. Kind of. It's a whole complicated thing. But yes, these dragons are really good. All of them are really good. Leviathan, the main reason why I say he was really good is because his dragon does a pretty Leviathan's dragon form is just amazing. Dragon Yuuzhan has a really good ability and inflicts freeze with her main skill. Then there's also Cupid healing plus crit rate, and then of course the status punishing dragons are all really good and have great effects. Now, moving on to S, this is where I really go into deep detail. And you might have seen some of those dragons up there. Well, we'll talk about them. Zodiac and Permanent 5-star. Now let's go for fire first. We have two. Konohana Sakuya and yeah, and I totally forgot about. Yeah, Konohana Sakuya and Dread King Rathalos. Dread King Rathalos is amazing, by the way. Konohana Sakuya, let's go over Dread King Rathalos first, actually. Dread King Rathalos is a pretty decent damage and actually still sees use from two characters, though they're not like on meta. The two characters are Chelsea and Hunter Berserker. But here's this thing. His skill is deals one hit of 100% damage and one hit 400% free damage. He does 500% damage and inflicts burn. So he doesn't do as much damage as Rathalos, but his abilities are way mixed up for that. Dread King Rathalos also has is much stronger. But going over it, well, look at this. If the user is attuned to flame, increases strength by 55% and force strike damage by 60%, which is really good. And striking haste 2 and gauge to decelerator plus 30%. So unfortunately, that's a debuff where with the user attuned to flame, it slows the rate the mode gauge decreases by 30%, but increases skill gauge fill rate by 30% when the user's force strike connects. So that's the one thing. And Kono Hanasaki is a skill damage dragon. They strength plus 20%, skill damage plus 90%. They are amazing, and her does okay damage with her skill, but the main thing is that she also the user's next skill does 40% damage. It does 40% more damage. So that's those two have been. He's still Joking Offer still sees use today, and Kononosaki also still sees use, but is more of a substitute. But before we'll talk about him. Before him, if you could still put him on, you could still put Kononosaki on adventurers, and same with Joking Waffles, you could still put him on other adventurers that aren't your main, because there's still a lot of adventurers that use these two as like their secondaries. Some only use him as a first. The only two that use him over this dragon is Chelsea and Hunter Berserker. Now let's move on to water. Now moving on to water. We have Gabney and Quiddy, Siren, and Haruhi Maritimus. Gabney and Quiddy is strength plus 45% and skill recharge 2. This is a unique skill where if the user is attuned to water, fills 30% of his skill gauge after using that skill. It is really useful. And then Dazzling Dance Floor is Gabney and Quiddy's skill, which creates a button rush for 10 seconds and guarantees fills the skill gauge of an adventure inside by 9.1% every 0.9 seconds. To put it bluntly, at the end, it will if you stay at it the entire time, this completely fills up your skill. It is great. Now moving on to Siren. Siren is a skill damage dragon. You're going to be seeing a lot of those. Same effect. Weaker damage than Kononosaki, but same effect. And then we have Haruhi Maritimus. This one is a limited time unit. I should have said, yeah. This one, at the limited time units are limited time units that we have that we actually have are Marashitan, Dragon Yojan, the event welfare dragons, as well as the mini dragons because they were given out. They were a one-time thing. And also Drag Queen Raphalos. And Haruhi Maritimus. And also the other ones, there are other ones too, such as this one, Fatalis, and this one. Oh, and of course this one, and this dragon, which we'll get to. But yes, so Haruhi Maritimus is an HP healing dragon that has skill haste plus 35%, which increases skill gauge fill rate by 35%. And his Haruhi Maritimus is good for healers because his skill is the best. He's better than Sumerg because Haruhi Maritimus' skill restores HP to RRs with 51% recovery potency and creates a buff zone that lasts for 10 seconds and increases skill damage of adventurers inside it by 30%. So yeah, he's a really good dragon. They usually are the premier dragons, essentially, for water. Every adventurer either uses Gabney and Quene, Siren, or Haruhi Maritimus, with a few exceptions for Dragon Yojan and Leviathan. Like I said, the only one, I mean, I could say that Dragon Yojan could go out there too, but not many people actually use. Well, actually, no. Dragon Yojan is essentially a substitute now. Leviathan overtook some of his characters, but there were some characters that used that Dragon News on his enemies overtook them. So yeah, but that's essentially it for those characters. Now, and they're all incredibly good. I would recommend going for any of those. So yeah, moving on to wind, we have 4 dragons. We have value. Value is once again skill damage dragon. Does the most damage skill damage. It does 896% skill damage, and out of and does more damage than all the other one, and does more damage than those three. Than those other two, Siren and Kono Hanasakia. Then we also have AC011 Garland, who doesn't. His skill doesn't have anything to boot about, but his abilities are really good. Strength plus 50% and has Dauntless Rampart 2. Essentially a better version of uh, of um this dragon. Of what's the dragon's name again? Nyarlathotep. Actually, I'm gonna move Nyarlathotep up to B plus because he's actually okay. But yeah, his 001 Garland is a much better version because not only is his strength plus 50% without having to deal with HP 30 thing, but grants the user it grants the user one use divergent shield that no offense damage less than 40% of the user's maximum HP every 15 seconds that pass without the user being knocked back by an enemy. Divergent shields can stack with ordinary shields. Also, the user's strength is increased by 30% while the skill is active. That's 80% strength. That is really good. And it doesn't go, and so it's a really good shield. Now, then we have Aerial. Aerial is the premier thing for buffers. Is the premier dragon for buffers. Every buffer uses this, and deals one hit of 1200% wind damage, inflicts stun for 6 or 7 seconds, strength plus 50%, and has skill haste plus 30%. There is one other dragon that is also a skill haste, but it's HP. Freya. Freya has the best regen healing skill out of any other dragon in the game, and is also, in my opinion, the best HP skill haste dragon. The HP skill haste, not skill haste dragon in general, because that one Aerial is better for buffers. But healers use Freya, and also people who are doing healers ones also use Freya for the buffer. Here's the reason why: restores HP to all hours with 42% recovery potency. Continues healing over the next 20 seconds to a 30% recovery potency every 2.9 seconds, and energizes the entire team. Now, yes, here's the thing: the regen does less than Phoenix's, but it lasts longer, so it does more over time. HP plus 30%, skill haste is great, so yeah, it is a good dragon. Freya is still a very good dragon. I don't have her yet, but gonna try to get her. If you don't have, definitely try to get her. And that's essentially it for Wind Dragons. So, AC011 Garden is only used on certain events. They're used on specific adventurers. The ones that use the ones that get the most out of AC011 Garden are Valentine's Melody, Galavanzo uses it, Maribel, certain other weaker units. Templar Hope uses it, which is really good. So like the ones I would say that people use, Templar Hope and Valentine's Melody are the only units that are meta that can use this dragon. But yeah, that's essentially it for these characters. Now let's move on to the Light Dragon. Now, Light, there's only 2. These 2 are Daikokuten and Tishan Gangzu. Tishan Gangzu is the latest of the skill haste HP dragons. Does really good and unfortunately, I would say she has the weakest out of the other. She has one of my least favorite abilities because her abilities is essentially another dragon we're to get to in Shadow called Shinobi, where deals 5 hits of 140% damage and energizes the entire team. So yeah, that's about it essentially. I wish it was like a better skill. Then there's Daikokuten. Now there is no skill haste dragon for light, just like how there was no, and just like yeah, you might have noticed that water doesn't have a punishing and a status of a flashblade punisher dragon or and well with light they don't have a skill haste dragon. Instead they have Daikokuten, the best dragon, but it's a time limited unit. Strength plus 55% and whirlwind strength plus 25%. So Daikokuten also gives off 80% strength and Daikokuten is a hay, by the way. And whirlwind strength is essentially when the combo count is, if the user is attuned to delay, increases strength by 25% when the combo count is 15 or higher. And his skill is also really good. Lucky Mallet. It deals one hit of 700% night damage to enemies directly ahead and creates a buff zone that lasts for 15 seconds and increases the attack rate of adventurers decided by 20%. He is a really good unit. I hope you got them because otherwise you kind of out of luck. But you have Cupid. If you could go for Cupid and Corsair Phoenix. So yeah. Both of these are great units. Definitely go for them. Daikokuten, unfortunately, is time limited, only doing. It's a Zodiac Dragon, which means it's usually only doing like limited, like the New Year's events. But that's essentially it for those Night Dragons. Now let's move on to Shadow. Shadow's a little bit interesting. So there are 3 dragons: Azazel, Fatalis, and Shinobi. Shinobi is okay. Shinobi is amazing. Actually, my bad. He only does. He does the second most damage out of the skill. He's a skill damage dragon. He does the second most damage, but his skill is better in my opinion because he energizes the entire team. He's in my opinion the best strength. He's in my opinion the best out of the skill damage dragons. Skill damage is a really good thing. Does a lot of damage, and most units have him. A lot of units have him. He's like one of the top units. But so get him. He is a well-versed unit and they're very good. Now moving on to another dragon, Fatalis. Fatalis is Fatalis is once again a co-op unit. It was with the Monster Hunter event, just like Dread King Raphalos. So if you didn't get him, well, there's Epimetheus you can still get, as well as Marashitan and Marashitan is also time limited. There's Epimetheus and Chthonius you could still go for, and those 2 are also really good. But Fatalis is a very strong dragon. Shapeshifting is like the strong. He's the strongest dragon shapeshift wise, excluding certain other dragons. Excluding a certain other dragon, excluding Nafna's unique dragon transformation. But other than that, he is an amazing dragon. As he increases the strength by 50%. But here's the thing: you don't want his second ability increases. If the user is attuned to Shadow, it increases the strength by 30%. His ability 1 increases the strength by his skill 1 is for his ability 1 is for any Avenger can have it. But here's the thing about Fatalis: you don't want to transform with him, and it's because of this. Increases their strength by 50%, but when the use of shapeshift is undone, they will be cursed for the rest of the quest, irrespective of their element. So, unless you have... Now, there is ways to get around it, such as having an ability that protects you against ailments, like there's certain... Like a 1 protect you against a certain ailment, or having a curse... Or without units to get curse rest, but you can only get a 50% strength increase. The main issue with him is, so you don't want to transform. There is a way to get around it though. Which is only, and it's only available in against and it's only against 1 unit specifically. That unit being the Cayenne. The Agato boss fight, Cayenne, because if you don't have Bond Res, Cayenne, you could get one. It has a Bond Res stuff, and it will overwrite the curse. So yeah, Fatalis. Otherwise, but Fatalis is a great dragon. But unfortunately, he's time limited, so if you don't get it, that was unfortunate. But if you do have a good job, you have like one of the best dragons. 80% strength increase is just amazing. Sorry, there's a fly buzzing around me. Now, moving on to Azazel. He is an HP skill haste dragon, and he has a really good ability. Here's the thing: he does inflicts, and he's good for healers. Healers use them because of his ability, especially because shadow healers are a little bit different than most. But Azazel increases inflict. Now he only does 500% damage, but here's this thing: he inflicts poison, and here's his best thing: increases your entire team's damage against poison enemies by 15% for 40 seconds. He inflicts poison on an enemy or enemies, and gives the entire team Poison Punisher. That is a really useful ability. I mean, skill. And once again, skill haste dragons are very much people who have been trying to go for them. I still haven't got Azazel. There are only two skill haste dragons I have yet to get are Azazel and Freya. But yes, Azazel is the premier HP healing dragon now. I would recommend going for any of those units. Well, Fatalities you can't go for, but they are amazingly good. All these units are superior. These are the top line units essentially for these adventures on their respective elements going over there. Now let's talk about the big one. Gala Mars. The best dragon in the game. The most broken dragon in the game. There's a reason why I put him in S plus by himself. He is his own tier. Let's look at his ability. First of all, he does insane damage with his Dragon Basic attack modifiers. I didn't go over the Dragon Basic attack modifiers, but it's nothing too much to worry about. They do decent damage, but let's just say this. There is only one dragon that can out damage that is stronger than Mars in terms of DPS. And that one dragon is Lafna's special near the third tip. When you poison the enemy in the beginning. When the enemy is fully poisoned. Otherwise, this dragon is the strongest. And Lafna has to be 70 MC, so it's now, mind you, Gala Mars is a Gala dragon, which means he's only available during Gala units. But let's just go over. Well, let's just go over this. Let's just go over. He doesn't have the strongest strength. He's tied. He's behind the other tips and some of the other stuff. But here's at least for base strength. But here's a look at his. Let's look at his skill first. Alchemical Hellfire. Deals 3 hits of 250% flame damage to enemies directly ahead, draws them towards the user, and increases the user's strength by 20% for 20 seconds. It is possible to charge the skill gauge by attacking and use it up to twice during one shapeshift. That means a 40% strength increase, just like essentially the same as essentially almost the same as Popstar Siren. The only difference is you don't get the 40% defense increase, as well as the energized thing, as well as getting the energy increase thing. But that's fine especially because he does way more damage. Especially since doing it twice, that's 1500%. There's not many out of all the, excluding the special unique dragons, there's only, excluding the special transformations, which are for dragons, at least with unique dragons, which were excluding the Dragon Drive and like Divine Dragon Form for Tiki. The others being the other ones being Nath's Neon Thotep, as well as Gala Mim and Halloween Mim's special Bunhilda transformations. This is the strongest skill. This is like one of the strongest skills in the game. And also I'm only upset about the mini Zod and mini mid. And here's the big thing. His abilities are amazing. Flame, strength, and HP 50 equals strength. If the user is attuned to flame, increases strength by 70% and increases strength by additional 20% when HP is at 50% or above. Which is kind of easy to do with certain flame offenses, especially Marth. With his Marth, oh boy. Marth with his dragons, jeez. Even like certain other units. And flame ending shapeshift equals skill gauges, where if the user is attuned to flame, fills 100% of skill gauge when the user's shapeshift is undone. This dragon is just broken beyond belief. If you want to see why I said flame is unique, well, going over to flame, look at this. Everyone besides Chelsea and Hunter Berserker use them. Heck, if you even go to the special tab for flame, how do you know when? Okay, how do you know when uses Power Star Siren? But yes, look at this. This is how ridiculous. Even buffers use Emma are using them because he is just that good. Units that used to not transform and used to not transform are now transforming like have now transformed because Galar Mars is just that busted. It is insane. That is why I put him in his own tier list. Galar Mars is so broken. But if I was to say take him out, certain adventures would be changed. Like Marth would. I haven't really checked Kron because Kron came out after Galar Mars came out. Same thing with Nadine. Let me take a look and see what those units would be like. If I was to say, if Kron was in there, let me put in. Let's see. Let me put in Burnres. Okay, so putting in this, let's see what other dragons. It would either be Dread King Rathalos. Okay, so Dread King Rathalos 29. See how much big of a difference that is? Now let's see Konohanasakia. Pretty sure Konohanasakia would be the premier one. Yeah, only a little bit. See how much big of a difference Galar Mars makes? Oh, wait. Let me see Kagat. Let me see Apollo. Apollo might be the better one. Yeah, Apollo is the best one for Karam. But look at the difference between Apollo and Galar Mars. It's not even a contest. Now, if I was to say use someone like Karam used Konohanasakia, though actually, honestly, he could probably. If I was to say, yeah, you see, yeah, look at, oh wait, yeah, 95. Let's take a look at yeah, like Galar Mars, just to show you. I want to see Apollo. Let's see what Konohanasakia. No, wow. Okay, Dread King Rathalos. Yeah, so as you can see, yeah, Galar Mars is such a big. A lot of units were using Apollo more so, but not many units. Okay, I guess Apollo was stronger. Though Burn, it was a weird thing with Burn. Certain units, it's better not to have like having Burn Punisher always because of certain other things. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Nadine. Let's see what Nadine would be if let's see what Nadine would be. If I was to do this, let's see what Nadine would be. Let's see what Apollo would be. 26091. Okay, and then King Rathalos, Konohanasakia. Yeah, no, Apollo. I guess Apollo was mostly. While it's true that it shows this one, it's Apollo works weird because it's not always to have always have like so much Burn Punisher, there's a reason why not as many people would used to use Apollo as much because of like burn. Because there was a thing about like how burn can be like burn and poison both is like you could get too much of it and therefore it won't become as useful. So yeah, that's essentially it. That's the only reason why you wouldn't see Apollo as much. But yeah, there's as you can see, Gallimard is really busted fire. Fire is now just become kind of a joke. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hope you like this. I hope you like this video, and if you have, you click the like button, leave a comment down below what you think, and also spread this video around. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and click the notification bell so you can get updates on whenever any of my videos go out. Other than that, I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.